So today is the last class of the quarter, which is exciting. Y'all made it. This is as you know, an ungraded class, so I know it's not like the hardest class that you have at all. But I've had a lot of fun with this class. So before we jump into the content of looking forward with past direct admits who are gladly volunteering their time in a very busy season, I just want to say that at the end of the session, I would like to request a selfie. And I'm saying it out loud so that you can get ready. And anyone who does not want to be in the selfie does not have to be in the selfie, but I'm saying it so that I remember to offer that. And I'll also leave a few minutes at the end to wrap up the class. But yeah, today we have 3 past direct admits in the room with us. We have Allison, Madison, and Maria. I will let you all introduce yourself in whatever you would like to share.
Is that me going first or you going first?
You can fight for it.
I'm Maria, sophomore here at UW, informatics major. I'm planning on doing human-computer interaction and data science within informatics. I'm in a sorority. I'm the vice president of academic excellence for them. Winco, do a couple things. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Cool.
So I'm Madison. You guys have met me before. I'm a senior. I am in a track of HCI, graduating this spring, just about to start capstone. It's a lot. And outside of class, outside of informatics, I am really interested in disability studies, ASL, political science was also something I was really interested in. And outside of school, I work and do a lot of volunteering. So I have a lot of hats to balance. So I've gotten really good at managing my time. Yeah.
And by ASL, you mean American Sign Language?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm Allison. You guys have also met me before. I'm a sophomore. I'm planning on doing the HCI track as well.
Oh, look at that commonality.
We'll see though. And then I'm also a drama minor, so I'm involved in doing plays and stuff outside. My whole life doing info. I'm also director of PR for Winfo. I was a first year rep last year, which was fun. And yeah, I'm from Chicago.
Great. I love that y'all are involved with things within info and outside of info as well. As with every class, I ask the students to submit questions, and there's sometimes a lot of overlap. So I've put out a few questions here just to get the conversation started. And then in the middle, we'll pause to see if there's any follow-up questions from the room as well. So maybe we can start with a really fun class that you took so far. Anything. Maybe one info and one non-info.
Okay. I can start. Well, in informatics, I'm a design person, so 362 I found to be a really fun class, even though it's all self-learning and you teach yourself everything, but that's the structure of it and you have a lot of support. You basically just build an infographic from scratch. That's the whole class, if that sounds interesting to you, super fun. 365 is also a great class. I'm finishing it up right now, but it's a lot of work. It's mobile app design, and you design a operating system from scratch with a team of 7. Yeah, so it's a lot of work, but you get a lot of really good experience. You get a great portfolio piece. You learn about agile methods really well because it's designed as if it's just an agile team. You get really good at taking critique from that because there's bi-weekly critiques. Sometimes he'll bring in industry professionals to also participate in those critiques. We had one woman come the entire quarter basically.
Wow.
Critique us every other week, which was really awesome. Outside of informatics, there was this one political science class I took that was, I don't remember the number of it, but I do know the title of the course was just U.S. Congress, and it was a 100-person course. and we basically created our own US Senate. We got to create the rules. We all represented a different state. We built party lines. It was super cool, a really great way to like actually learn about how the Senate works.
Huh.
We were a hot mess from the beginning. We had someone filibuster in like the second week of the class. It was like, can we not do this, please? And you get committees in your sections. Really cool class if you are at all interested in how Congress works. You'll learn firsthand. Yeah.
Awesome.
I haven't actually taken a lot of info classes. I've more focused on like the gen eds, which is a lot of what you guys have to do.
Mm.
I honestly loved Info 200. I took it with Amy Coe. That was awesome. I also really liked this class. All the directs like were so close. It was awesome. Like we still have like an ongoing group chat. You guys can seriously like form a bond. I guess since I'm a drama person, I just have loved all my acting classes. Yeah. So if you're interested in taking beginning acting, I think it's like 251 or something. Super fun. Yeah.
I think so. I'm in Info 360 right now.
Yeah.
It's a really, the name of it, Design Foundation.
Design Methods.
Design Methods. It's really interesting. Like we both have different teachers. We're both in it right now, and like we both really like it. It's super like fun, and like we're focusing on being like restorative and like stress relieving. So the class itself is like very restorative and stress relieving.
Oh.
So like that's really cool.
Wow.
And we did some really cool things. Like we broke into teams and have been designing our projects for like practically the whole quarter. And then our teacher, she brought in industry like professionals, and you met with three people.
Critique,
And like they were all so excited about our ideas. It was really cool to see like a real world like impact or application of like just an idea you came up with in class. So like that's one of my favorite info classes. And then I took this education class. It's called like EDC and I 351 or something. It's called Teaching as a Profession. And it was so enlightening. Like I had no idea a lot of things about like teachers. My sister's becoming a teacher, so that's kind of why I took it. And everyone, you guys will soon find out, like you'll take classes in different departments and you'll be like, oh wow, the people here are like, oh, I don't know about that. And like just it's a really great department. And so it was also really cool. The education department's so cool. Everyone's so nice and like uplifting to each other. And I was like, whoa, like, okay, this is so cool.
So I will also say, piggybacking off on that. So a bunch of you guys are in 200 right now. And if you guys like the project kind of process you guys are right through, I mean, you have to take 360, but 360 just like dives deeper into it. And it really focuses more on the design, whereas 200 is more like on the quiz section. That's like where you do your project.
Yeah.
Are there any follow-up questions to anything that the panelists shared about their most fun class?
If you don't mind me asking, I came in a little late. Can everyone say like the grade again?
I'm Allison. I'm a sophomore.
I'm Madison. I'm a senior.
I'm Maria and I'm a sophomore too.
Okay, thank you.
They were all direct
Give me
admits.
More context.
Yeah.
I will say that you guys are all super lucky to have this class. This was a new addition. I believe it was last year. Yeah. So we didn't have this back when I was a direct admit. They were kind of just like really casual optional lunches where we talked to like the student services team.
Yeah.
Which like it's a little bit boring because it's just the student services team coming to you like time and time again to speak to you. Like we had probably had like 4 talks from career services. By the 4th, we were kind of like, why are we doing this? Like it's the same 4 people who would show up every time.
Yeah.
And like this way you get a lot better chance to get to know each other, which I think is really nice because you guys are going to be the only people who are really going to be in the program for the 4 years. And a lot of the people you're meeting now are going to graduate by the time you're doing capstone and all that stuff. So you're going to have at least these connections to rely on.
Yeah. So since all 3 of you have at once been a first-year student in the info program / UW, what experiences did you find most valuable as a first-year student?
I would say, I know we kind of talked about it already, but like this class is really important. Not just because like, not saying you have to make like your best friends out of these like 15 people or whatever, but it's so helpful just to be able to say, oh, has anyone taken this class who has had this professor, like whatever, because like, you know, you can look at Rate My Professor and like all of those, but like, I don't know, it's just a lot It's just really
or if you wanna
nice.
take a
Yeah.
class
With someone,
Mm.
yeah.
So like we've
so
all been
nice.
like 373, but now it's not.
Yeah.
Mm.
We're like,
A bunch of us are taking 380 next quarter
Mm.
together. Like it's just really nice to have some people kind of on your team already.
Yep.
well, I was a first year rep for Winfo last year, so that was really awesome. And then also I'm plugging Winfo last, but I did Winfo hackathon
Oh,
with
yeah.
Maria.
Yep.
And wasn't it so fun?
It was so fun. I'm so
free
excited.
trolley burritos, first of all. Like,
When
the
Allison
Rainbow
like
Hackathon.
texted
No,
me, she was
it's
like,
so-
"Let's do the hackathon," and I was like, "I don't know who you think I
yeah.
am, but that doesn't." I was like, "No," and she was
it's
like,
so intimidating.
"Let's do it. It'll be chill," and I was like, "Okay." And like, I
Nothing about the word
literally-
hackathon
No,
sounds
yeah,
chill.
I was like,
Kill this hackathon.
yeah.
It's so good,
Yeah,
guys.
and I
don't
literally,
have any
I
experience.
texted. It's in January. I texted
Yeah.
Allison maybe a month ago, and I was like, "I found my team for this year. I'm so excited! Like, it's so great."
No,
Yes,
and-
do the hackathon.
Yeah, it looks so
It
good
looks
on a resume.
really good.
Yeah.
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 Wait, so can I ask, like, what, for anyone who has never done a hackathon,
Mhm.
what is expected coming into the hackathon like
Nothing,
Winfo?
literally.
Are you sure? Because I feel like I should be able to contribute something.
I mean,
Come in with the skills that you have and be ready to learn and work and apply them. Like if you have absolutely no technical skills or any design skills or anything like that, that might not be the best place to develop them, but you guys all have at least some sort of skills. If you're taking Info 200, that's enough skills. If you take an AP Computer Science, that's enough skills. Like
You
you
don't-
have
you know,
plenty
You
of
don't have to
skills.
code. We
Like,
didn't
yeah.
code last year.
Yeah.
Like you can
Yeah.
either kind of choose a design
Yeah.
project or a coding project. You also don't have to be a girl. Just
Yeah.
putting that out there,
No,
because
yeah.
when I was finding my little team for this year, I picked one of my friends who's a design major
Mhm.
and one of my friend who is engineering right now.
Nice.
And he was like, well, Winfo, like, am I supposed to?
Yeah.
And I was like, no,
No,
yes,
yeah,
you are.
it's
Like,
good.
come.
I would suggest actually to know design tools like InVision or Figma, which a lot of you guys have already done through Info 200. That's the tool that we used. You can also do paper prototyping though. It's really
Yeah.
just all
Yeah.
about the idea that
Yep.
you create.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
And you have a prompt. Like, there's a prompt and you
It's a
brainstorm.
very broad
It's-
Yeah,
prompt.
it's super-
yeah,
yeah.
it's driven
But
by
you're not
difference
just
this year.
supposed to show up and be like, here, like you have a full day to work on it. It's
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
It's super
And
cool.
there's mentors there from people in industry who
Yep.
can help you out.
Yeah.
The officers and volunteers always go around and like make sure you guys are on the right track.
Yeah.
And it goes by really fast.
Is it
Yeah.
too late to sign up?
No, they
No.
just opened sign up,
Yeah.
actually.
It's not too late to sign
And
up.
It's free.
It's
And
free.
Yeah.
You get, and there's not only just like free Chipotle, there's free food,
Free
like
the entire
Costco
day.
constantly,
pizza, there's
like
free Costco
like,
buffet
yeah,
for
muffins,
breakfast,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
prizes.
Yeah.
Like,
there's no pressure. It
Some of my
looks
best
great.
projects have come
Yeah.
from this hackathon.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
So let me just recap.
Yeah.
The sign-ups just opened.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can send you the link.
Anyone can sign up.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what major you are, how tall you are,
Exactly.
what color hair you have.
Yeah.
There will be free food and drinks.
Yes.
Yep.
And if you don't have
And you don't need a team going in.
Actually, Rachel will be running team formation.
Okay.
for your team.
Wow. So you don't even have to have teammates.
Yeah.
You just-
There is a structure to help you
Yes.
find teammates.
Yes.
Yeah, and I've used that multiple times.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you have to have 4 people, and it's like 4 is the team size.
Yeah.
You can't have
Yeah.
three, you can't have 4 people. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Everyone's
Seriously.
looking around the room.
I didn't do it my first year, but you should
No,
do it.
seriously, like
Yes,
you
do it.
if you want teammates, you should look around right now and see if there's anyone who wants to join you.
Especially because like if you're like, oh, I'm not like ready for like this yet, like you are, because if you only choose to do it like when you're a senior, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I literally
Yeah.
Yeah.
could have developed these skills like
Earlier.
Yeah.
Yep.
like
So there were a lot of questions in the previous 10 weeks of class about like, how can I get an internship? How can I get a job? How can I get an internship when I don't have prior internship experience? Things like this
Yes.
is how you
So
get
great.
people to take you seriously.
100%, yeah.
Things like
Because
this.
it shows that you also have interest outside of
Yes.
class in doing this work.
Yes.
Like you put your time out there when you didn't have to, and
Yep.
you made something.
Yep.
So the hackathon is like you're designing a project based on a theme?
Yeah, once again, very broad themes. The past 2 years, it's been like something to improve the world. And it's like, that could be anything. So they're really like, and even if your thing doesn't like really technically fit into the theme, like no one at this hackathon cares.
No one will judge you.
No one cares.
There's
Yeah.
more
like
intense, not all hackathons are
Yeah.
like this, but this
No.
one is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's intentionally designed that way, right? To
Exactly.
be
Great
inclusive.
intro,
Yeah.
hackathon. Can't say enough good things about this.
And it's
hackathon.
not the only hackathon that happens,
Yeah.
Right.
but it's one of the biggest ones that happen for the
Yeah.
info
And
community.
can help you get ready for.
Yeah, for
One
the
of
for the
biggest
bigger
that
ones.
happens on campus now.
Yeah.
Is there a prize?
Yeah, there is.
We have $1,800 worth of prizes. We gave Echo Dots last
Yeah.
year. We gave, these are top-notch prizes.
Yeah.
They're really good.
And these prizes come from employers who donate
Yeah,
these,
yeah.
right?
People are
So,
super interested.
Yeah, so companies have been sponsoring us. and
Yeah.
They sponsor us thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
have a huge budget for this hackathon because it takes so much money to, first of all, rent out the whole hub
Yep.
North Ballroom,
Yeah.
which is a huge space. And then also for them to provide mentors where you guys
Mm.
can network with people about
Yep.
Yeah.
internships and about jobs.
Yep.
And then also they can help you with your project. And then I think we give out like 12 prizes that are like good prizes.
Yeah. She can't tell you what they are, but she can tell you they're good.
Because we don't know what they are.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I think I saw a hand. Hand? No? Good? Okay. I thought that was a question.
I can send you the link.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm pretty sure it's pretty easy to find
Yeah.
too.
On Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, in my prior role working for the iSchool Student Services Office, one of the things I did on the side was oversee the student groups. And the iSchool has a number of student groups. And I maybe should not say this on record, so let me pause the recording. I'm just kidding. WIMFO is very active. And one thing that I respected a lot about WIMFO is they found ways to fund themselves to operate in the scale that they wished to.
Mhm.
They did not rely just on budget granted by the iSchool to execute their events, right?
Yeah.
So if I were to say this a slightly different way, it's like the difference between a nonprofit and a for-profit organization. Many nonprofit or actually a nonprofit versus a social enterprise. A social enterprise finds ways to generate revenue to make its operations work. Many nonprofits rely on external funding to make their operations work. So it's very grant-based.
And you'd be very surprised with the amount of companies that want to work
Yeah.
with us.
And it's because companies find value in interacting with students on the ground like that.
Yeah.
Companies actually prefer to send mentors to help with things like hackathons next to each other versus just giving a presentation.
Mhm.
They know people are not really convinced by presentations anymore. They know it's the people that make the difference, right?
Yeah.
So it's a win-win. Like, I don't know, I'm trying to be, not trying to be funny here, but like the WIMFO strategy is really a win-win for employers and students.
Well, yeah, and so we actually had a problem last year is that a lot of people weren't going up to companies and networking.
Yeah.
But we're actually setting literally an hour time for you guys all to just like network because I mean we got so messed in our project. We were like,
Yeah.
we have any time to like
Yeah.
talk to companies
Yeah.
about like getting a job, like. So before you even start hacking, you're gonna be able to talk to companies.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. That's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So, yeah. We talked enough about that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, so back to the first year advice. Oh yeah.
Can non-info students join that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
anyone on campus that you have to be a
You just
student.
have to be a
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So things that I would recommend. One of the best things I did was live on campus. I'm from Seattle. Like my parents live like 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
from there. So living on campus was a really big step for me to like actually get away from them and make my own friends and stuff like that. I also really encourage if there's anything that you have interest in, especially outside of informatics, you guys have the time, really develop those interests and spend time working on things that will fulfill you, but not necessarily get you a job. Because you're not gonna have enough, at some point you're not gonna have time to do that anymore. So while you have the time, do it. And whatever that is for you, whether it's dance, drama, volunteering, learning a new language, traveling, do it now. You're not going to have the time to do it later.
What is later?
What is later?
Oh, what is later?
Well, even like now, like senior year, like I don't have time to do things necessarily that I want to do.
Or, like,
I
classes you want.
Are you saying that every year things seem to just feel busier?
Yeah, you feel busier.
Yeah.
Like because I have to apply for jobs this year, and you'll have to do this as a junior for internships as well. Like that takes so much time just applying to all of these jobs, making your resume look really nice, and all of these things. It just takes so much effort and time, and it drains a lot from you. So you kind of want to rest after you've done that, and don't necessarily want to go out and do other things that are fun or interest you. You just kind of want to like lay in bed and watch Netflix. So while you don't have that many actual responsibilities, spend that time actually doing things instead of sitting on your bed watching Netflix. And then once you're in a career, especially for things that are more like traveling and learning things like languages, that's going to be a lot harder to do in that environment because you have a lot of structured time. And then you don't necessarily want to leave work all the times and kind of learn new things, or you don't want to take off all that time to go travel and spend a whole ton of money doing that. So you're going to run out of time to do all of these things depending on what they are.
Yeah, to kind of piggyback off that, with starting now, I'd say that when you find those extracurriculars, you kind of want to like move up the hierarchy in a way. So like for me, like, I mean, I keep on using this drama thing, but if like I'm in a show, like I want to be able to like up my part, or like if I want to like get on a committee, you can also like dabble in multiple things. But I think it's nice when you like feel like a sense of community and you feel like you have a sense of like power in a way. Sounds okay. You know what I'm saying. Like when, like for example, in high school, in any extracurriculars, from freshman year, you had a completely different stance than when you were senior. When you were senior, you felt like shit, honestly. Like,
True.
Oh yeah.
There was some commentary about like the importance of doing things outside of info or outside of classroom. There's a question. There are actually a number of questions along this realm of how do you actually make friends with people in your major if everyone seems really busy or focused on academics. So love to get your thoughts on that.
So me and Allison are friends from the cohort, which is super fun. And I wouldn't say that I'm like the best at making in-class friends. I guess since I'm in a sorority, I have a lot of people I'm surrounded with every day. So when I go to class, I like none of the people who I like live with are actually there. Like my closest friends aren't there. But I find that projects and doing things with people, really, you can make fun friends. And like, it's kind of like high school. Sometimes you have like those in-class friends where like in class you have some great banter, like a good time, but you don't really hang out with them outside. Like that's cool. That can happen. I've actually made a really good friend this quarter because we had 2 out of our 3 classes together.
Oh, nice.
So like when you find someone who kind of has like the same schedule as you, like obviously you have a lot more to like relate to on. And I would just say like be really friendly and open, because sometimes some people are really focused on school and everything. But if you sit in the same spot next to the same person every day, you know, like talk to them, see who they are. You maybe aren't friends with them, maybe switch spots, find someone else. Like I think just go in with an open mind. You never know who you're going to become friends with, so keep trying.
And if there's someone you really like in your class, but you don't feel like you get enough time to spend with them, walk with them after class. Just walk in the same direction they're going, and just like talk. That's how I've made a lot of my really good friends in informatics classes, actually, is I just like have decent conversations with them in class, and then after class we just like keep walking.
Or
and
if you have a class with someone and then like you see them around the next quarter, like say, like don't forget about them, like say hi to them, because you could have a class again, like you never know. So like make a connection and then keep the connection.
I'd say, okay, have any of you guys had like a friend crush?
Yes,
Like
all the time.
like someone in like class and you're like, oh, I want to be your friend friends. So
Yeah.
But you don't want to be creepy about it.
Yeah.
Like, how do I like subtly tell you that I want to be your
Like,
friend?
Try to find like a commonality. So you're like, oh, like drop your pen, but like, hey, what's up? I had so many instances of that. Like honestly, like Maria was kind of my friend crush. Like I was like, Maria, like let's hang out. I mean, you just have to like go up to them and be like,
Yeah.
you can like talk smack about like the professor, like.
Oh, that's the
No.
best.
Just I don't know, just like try to find the humor in it. Again, I'm talking about info, but like any extracurriculars, like I'm telling you, like you will find people because you're always with them.
Yeah.
So might
You
as
will
well
find
yeah.
you will find people.
Yeah,
like,
and then
don't worry.
also classes, but also it's okay if you don't have friends in classes. I had no friends in my CS classes. And
Oh,
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, and try to like keep up with them. Ask for their phone number.
Follow
Yes.
them on Instagram.
Or Facebook, anything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not weird if you like accept them on Facebook as like
Yeah.
your friend. Like
friends
they'll be
with
like, oh, like it's not creepy.
No, it really isn't. The informatics community is really like close knit and people are just super friendly and just talk to people. And there's always people in informatics who want to hang out with you and want to kind of really focus on that informatics community. And then there's other people who just like don't care. I'm not a huge person on just like really being super involved in informatics and all my friends are in informatics. I don't care. Like I've got people that I think are really cool in my informatics classes and I'll keep up with them after I graduate, but they're not like my best friends and that's fine
right.
too. Like
Yep.
find your friends, find
Yeah.
your people and stick with them.
I'd say also as a freshman, like upperclassmen seem so intimidating, at least for me, like they're not.
No.
Like, look how not intimidating Madison is, right? She's a senior.
They're really just like stressed out about jobs and stuff.
Yeah.
So like they might seem really negative. You just have to go up to them and like give them a hug.
Just distract the other people. Also, just generally in life, food is a great bribery. Just
Oh,
like
yeah.
bring
Oh,
food
yeah.
in and like offer to share it with people. I will always say yes to food. From anytime there's free food involved, I will be there.
Yeah.
100%.
I would just say get involved. That's where all my friends are.
Yeah.
Like I met some friends from the dorms, like that was good. But do you guys live in the dorms? Some of you guys? Yeah. Did you guys like keep your doors open at first? So I have some friends in there. Also like social gatherings where
Yeah.
social gatherings that we can't talk about in class, but like like if you want to have more of a social life, like go out and like have fun and join a sorority.
Yeah.
and
Come
make
on over.
friends. And, in college, like,
Yeah, great. Are there any questions in the room right now? Follow-up questions? Okay, I actually got a number of questions asking something like, have you ever considered switching majors?
I've been asked that question before, and I found it kind of absurd. Because
Given how competitive it is to get in.
Yeah, especially at UW, because it was I was applying for design DFA, Design for America, and the girl whose team I was like trying to get on, she was an HCDE major, and she was like, why do you want to do this? And I was like, I want more projects to work on. Like, I'm more of a design person. Informatics isn't only design, so I don't get not all my classes are design projects, so I'd like to get more experience in that. And she was like, why don't you just switch to HCDE? And I was like, why now? It's my junior year. I'm already here. Like, there's just no reason. And if I can get where I want to go with this major, like, why switch?
That would be such an inconvenience.
It would be so inconvenient. And I did not care about my grades at all because I was already in a major. So there's no way I was getting into HCDE either.
You'd have to take like Chem 142.
Oh,
I
I would have died.
I guess I never since being in college have I considered switching majors. When I applied, I didn't know too much about info. I had a
kind of scared that I would
friend.
hate it.
I really didn't have a background in anything info related at all. And so I applied DA, and my mom and my sister and my friend were like, listen, if you don't like it, switch out of it. If you do, super convenient that you applied DA. And that's exactly what happened. I was like, just came into it open-minded, and I was like, this is so nice. Being a DA is so nice. You will meet people and they will like cry that they're not a DA.
They'll be so mad at you.
So good. So I have not considered switching majors.
Yeah. I didn't even know that informatics had direct admit when I put it down as my first choice. Like I kind of just like lucked out with this whole thing.
Yeah.
And it worked out for me really great. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with it.
Yeah. So if you are at a place as you continue in your journey where you feel like informatics is not the right route for you, I would recommend you speak with your academic advisor.
Yeah.
And they will happily hear you out and offer more case-by-case options.
Yeah.
No one will hate you if you leave. In fact, there will be more people that celebrate if you leave because someone will gladly take your spot.
100%.
Yeah. So you do what you feel is right. But what I hear from the DAs right now is like they just came in open-minded and then they realize why would I want to forsake the relief of having this guaranteed spot?
Also,
Yeah.
just getting through the prereqs, like CS, like 142 and 143, like I had a friend who's not an info major. I was in 143. I was struggling so hard. She was like, just why do you even want to do info? Like, I think maybe you should switch majors. And I was like, this is not info. This is a prereq, okay?
Yeah.
So like, don't, like those first couple classes might be a little rough, but once that's not what info is.
Yeah.
So just, you're going to get into more classes where you'll understand and be like, okay, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Also, so back to the question, I never considered switching majors. I considered double majoring.
Mm.
I was like, yeah, like I want to double major in info and drama. I like to do this. Like it'll be so easy. So I went to DeVell, amazing person, and he was like, he laid out a plan for me. He was like, you can do it if you want to stay for another year. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So I did not do that. And then he laid out a different plan for me, so I decided a minor, which was actually something that I preferred because, you know, logistics and everything. So I'd say you guys have time to double major in 4 years. I know a lot of people who are doing info and psych who have done it in 4 years. It really just, you have to like lay everything out and you really don't have any time for other like extracurriculars in general. But you can minor for sure.
Yeah.
Just being a DA is so nice.
So nice.
So nice. So
Yeah.
best.
Does anyone know like the regular admit percentage?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like I grew up in Seattle. Like,
Yeah.
My school is like 5 minutes away.
Oh,
my
okay.
high school.
Yeah.
So when I was like applying, I already knew a lot about informatics.
Yeah.
Because I was like
Good for
prepared
you,
for a
yeah.
couple years,
Yeah.
and then like everything that they would say was like being a direct admit for informatics is like a long shot.
And
But a lot of people, even in
yeah.
high school, told me that like
That you wouldn't get
it's
it.
really basically.
Yeah.
I know. So somebody my tour was like, "Oh, good luck." I was like,
Yeah.
"Let me know, bro."
So here's the numbers I know is, so direct admit numbers now I don't know. I know them when I was in the major, but when I got it, they're a lot different now. I know that, but for now, for regular admit, so there's 210 spots. It's
Yep.
going to change that, but there's going to be 2 admissions periods.
Yeah.
But there's 210 spots, and that includes freshmen, transfers, and UW students trying to get those 210 spots annually.
So you guys already like filled up.
Yeah, you filled out some of those spots, and usually there's a roughly equal amount of transfer students as there are of you guys. So
It's 10% or not recommended.
10%?
So yeah,
Okay.
like 20.
Yeah,
I
so
think-
it's like,
yeah.
I think 27% is about the
It's
rate. There's usually
25 to
1,200, yeah,
30%,
there's usually 1,200 applications from UW, just UW students applying to get into
Yeah.
informatics. So it's crazy difficult.
And that number goes up every
yeah,
year
it's going up
because
rapidly.
informatics is becoming more and more known.
Yeah.
So I think it will probably get more and more competitive over time. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
What
So-
high school did you go to?
Oh, I went to Nathan Hale.
Oh, okay. My brother was a Garfield kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really cool. All my siblings went to Garfield actually.
Okay, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I think,
He's out of here.
are there any other questions from the room at this point? If not, I'll advance a slide to the next series of more intense questions, which really sound like what advice you have for the next few years, or like something that you wish you had done differently. The last question I want to say for like literally the last question for
Yeah.
for the day. Yeah.
Ooh,
I have something that I just had difficulty with. It would be really good if you guys like laid out a 4-year plan in general, like if you want to study abroad, for instance. Studying abroad in different quarters is very different.
Yeah.
So I first wanted to study abroad next fall because then I would be able to like leave in August, so I would have like a semester.
Oh, I'd recommend that.
I know, but then I was thinking about it, and if I want to get an internship next summer, so summer after my junior year, a lot of like the Big 10 companies look at people in fall.
Yeah.
So it'd be really hard to have interviews, you know, in like a 12-hour, you know, time difference. That was something that I didn't even think about because when I went into, you know, being a direct, all the advisors were like, you have so much time, like you can do everything. Like you can stay abroad, you can do like 5 internships. I was like, oh, like great. And it really depends on the timing and like when you want to be on campus. But then I was thinking about spring. I was like, I love the spring here. Like it's honestly on like the best quarter here. But then again, I have to think about my other options. So I'd say laying out like a general 4-year plan, not like exactly what classes you want to take. But again, if you want to double major, if you want to study abroad, you have so many options because you don't have to apply into your major.
Yeah.
That was something that I learned that I didn't think I would have to worry about because I'm a freshman directed admit. Like I'm fine. Like
Yeah.
you know, I have 4 years.
I did none of that and turned out fine. So if you don't like, I'm someone who knows quarter to quarter what I want to do and what things I want to accomplish before I finish out. Like I showed up, I was lucky my freshman fall quarter, I got to register with an advisor, but I didn't know I was going to be able to do that. So I just showed up with all the classes I was going to take and I had like a full year-long plan already laid out. She was like, you don't need me, get out of here. Like, why are you here? And I was like, I was told to show up here. So, but then like, know what you want to accomplish coming out of here. Know if there's anything you specifically want to learn, make sure you get that done before you leave. If you want to work for a specific company, do everything in your power to get that internship or get that job in that company. You have the time and you have the energy and you have all the tools. Don't stress about getting into informatics classes early. I did not take a single upper division informatics class my freshman year because I couldn't get into any. I physically could not get into any of the classes, and that's fine. Explore lower division classes, special topics classes, super cool. Look at them every quarter they're offered and try and fit any in that sound interesting to you because they also might never be offered again. And I've regretted not taking some special topics classes when I've had the chance. And yeah, just jump on opportunities as you get them and don't assume that they're going to show up again because they might not. There's no guarantees.
Yep.
I have a couple of things. I think one thing I would say is kind of buy into the classes you're taking. It's super easy to go to a class, zone out the lecture, be like, okay, do the reading, this is so dumb, skim through it, whatever. If you actually buy into the material and you're like, okay, let me like listen to what they're actually saying, it like some classes are so cool and literally like can help change you and shape you as a person. And you're like, wow, this is amazing. And then there are the other students being there like, oh my God, this is so dumb. And you're like, are you listening to what they're saying? So like put some energy into your classes. Like you are so lucky to be at UW and these classes are incredible. So buy in and listen to what they're saying and like think about it because it's really, really cool. And then I think the other thing I have to say is don't doubt yourself because it's so easy to be in a class. You happen to sit next to someone who has done Java since they were 4 and you're like, okay, like guess I'm out of here.
Oh yeah.
You are here because you are smart and capable and worthy of being here. So never doubt that. Apply yourself to everything. You can learn anything. If you like, I knew going into info that I would be learning how to code, right? If you had even told me last year that I would know 5 different languages at this point in my college career, I would have been like, okay, like sure. Like you can do anything. Do not doubt yourself. You're here for a reason.
Yeah. And to kind of add on to that, take advantage of all the campus resources you can. Take advantage of iSchool resources. Take advantage of, we have tutors for different coding classes. We've got all our advisors We don't really have as many career services people right now, but by the time you guys graduate, we probably will. And take advantage of them while they're there. Take advantage of UW resources as a whole. Go use Hub Games. Go, ask for help just generally. Everyone's happy to help you. You're paying for all of these things.
Yeah.
Take advantage of them and really use all of them to the need that you need to, or want to, because you're paying for it. Get your money's worth.
Yeah, I think going off of like not underestimating yourself, you guys should TA. I was so nervous to TA.
Yeah.
So I applied when I was a freshman, and all my WINF officers were like, yeah, let's do it. I was like, okay, like I'll apply, but whatever. And then I got it, and I'm the only sophomore with a bunch of seniors, and I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my God, like, you know, imposter syndrome. I was like, there's no way, like, I'm gonna do so bad. I went into, you know, this quiz section with all of my students are just older than me. And I was like, this is what we're doing today. And it was a completely different format than the way that I had been taught in first grade. So like the content that you guys are learning right now, literally have no idea what's going on. But you know, I've been learning alongside with you. I would say apply to anything that you think that you can be capable of, because you are capable of it. So like any of you guys, see you guys are but you apply to BTA. All you have to do is take the class. That's it.
Yeah.
The professors are so nice to work with. They seem so intimidating. They're so nice, and like they really like amp you up. They're really good for letters of rec. Like I went to the Grace Hopper conference. Again, you guys should apply to go to that. The high school literally sponsored us. And I talked to this recruiter, and she was like, "You're a TA, like you're a sophomore." I was like, "I know." Like, and then I tell all my friends, they're like, all of my TAs are grad students. I was like, yeah, I'm a sophomore and I'm TA.
And you get paid for this too, right?
Yeah, you get paid above minimum wage.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like, yeah.
And it's pretty flexible, like the
Very flexible.
commitments and whatnot. Yeah.
How many hours a week do you have to invest in TA?
Technically, you have to do like at most 15 hours. Usually log in 15 hours, but it really just depends on like how fast you are at grading, and then I choose to create presentations. I know that at least if any of you guys taking it with Professor James, he didn't provide any presentations for the TAs. But when I took 200, Amy Coe provided like presentations, which is so nice. Like, can't wait to work with her. Like, that was really nice. It really just depends on how much effort you want to put into the class. You can definitely tell when TAs care about their job versus they just want to get paid. And then also grading papers is not easy. You know, it's really time consuming, and it kind of depends if you want to give them actual feedback or just give them grades.
Also, if you work on campus, they legally cannot make you work more than 19 and a half hours because you're a student and employee and you're already a full-time student. They cannot make you work more than 20 hours.
Yeah.
So if you're worried about doing a TA type job or any other job on campus and you're like, is it going to be too much? They can't actually schedule you so much that it's going to be a huge problem.
Yeah, and I would just say 200 is like the best place to begin with, because you know it's the foundation of info. Most of you, I'm guessing, have already taken it. It's not that like intellectually stimulating compared to like I could never TA 142 or 143. Like in the IPL, can you imagine? Like that would be awful. No, it's a really good introductory course to kind of get you into TA. There's a girl that's been TAing for 6 quarters. You know, like it really just depends on how involved you want to get.
Yep.
So you can start to TA 200, then like 360, you know, on and on. Like,
Yeah. Sir, great tips. I'm gonna ask the panelists to start thinking about the last question for the day of what are you looking forward to? It is an intentionally broad question.
Yeah.
Please answer it however you would like. Are there any questions in the room? Final questions for the panelists? Okay, if not, then whoever is ready, we'd love to hear what are you looking forward to?
I think I'm looking forward to, you know, dipping my toes into internships and everything like that, kind of seeing where, because a lot of people ask me like, oh, like you're in info, like when people would be like, what do you want to do in college? I was like, I know the answer. I'm in info already. Like, this is easy. And now people are like, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I'm like, well, don't have this one yet. So I'm really looking forward to going through my info classes and getting a more solid idea of actually what I want to do with info. I'm looking forward to, you guys are in a very profitable industry, okay? You are a giant minority because no one in this world knows how to code or do it ethically or do any of the things that you are learning to do. So you're gonna make some money, which will be, I mean, hey, shameless plug. That's a great reason to be here. And I don't know, yeah, I'm just looking forward to taking more classes, figuring everything out.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in a very different position than these two. I'm very excited to get into industry and to actually start working and being a UX designer or a project manager, because that's what I'm trying to do. Also, one last piece of advice, apply for iSchool scholarships. They come out every spring. Not very many people apply for them, and it's like free money. And they host events where you meet the people who are funding those scholarships, and those are also great networking events. I met like some really great people for my network at the Dean's Dinner that I went to as an iSchool scholarship recipient. And they, like, I had one guy literally like quiz me. He was like, do you know what this is? You don't? Connect with me on LinkedIn, research it, and then send me a report. And I was like, okay, sure, but he really wanted to like make sure that like iSchool people really knew what they were talking about, and if I impressed him and showed him that, he was going to help me get where I wanted to be in industry. So I did it. And what?
Who was it?
He worked at Slalom. I think his name is Eric Larson. Cool dude. He sat and talked with me and this other girl in informatics for like an hour.
Wow.
And we literally just sat there and talked about all the different things we wanted to do and all the different things that we were learning, which was really interesting and really cool. I'm excited for Capstone, just because I've been waiting to do it for 4 years now, and I'm ready. And I'm also ready to get more involved in my community. I've gotten involved in Camp Kesem for the first time this year, and I'm really excited to go to that this summer. That will be really fun. It's a summer camp for kids whose parents have or had cancer. It's all UW run too. Students run the whole thing and do all the fundraising and pay for all of it. Super cool. If you want to volunteer at a summer camp, do it. Get involved in Camp Kesem. And I've started fundraising for Seattle Children's. I'm just really excited to actually have my own money to be able to do things, and B, kind of my own time to be able to like really reach out into the community and like make a difference.
Great.
I guess I'm just looking forward to like being a kid for a little longer.
My response.
Okay, everyone's talking about like internships and jobs, and like once you're in the industry, like you're in the industry. Like you like can't go back to school. I don't know. I'm just like excited for all the extracurriculars I'm involved with. Like I just got cast in the show. I'm working on the Winfield Hackathon. That's really exciting. I'm really excited to study abroad, to like travel by myself. It's really like you find yourself or something. So we'll see what that is. I don't know. I'm excited to be as independent as I can be right now without like really like responsibility, like worrying about like adulting or whatever. I guess I'm excited for like an internship soon. But like,
So all really great things to look forward to. I think that is all for the panelists today. Thank you so much for your time. The random swag here is for you. A small token of gesture. I don't want to take any of it back, so please take whatever you'd like. I'm going to pause here to take a selfie real quick and then wrap up with a few slides about the class. Actually, I'll do it now first. You saw this on the first day of class. These are the goals of Info 198. I hope that you were able to build some connections through this class, learn about different resources, and ultimately learn how to make the most of your investment in a college education. These are all the things that we covered over the past 10 weeks. And you should have received an email about feedback for the class. I will eventually get that feedback, and it is really helpful for me. So please do complete it. If you think this was a valuable class, I think what I ask is that you just be honest in that feedback, because administrators look at that and they decide if this is a class that's worth keeping for future generations or not.
You better keep it.
Yeah. So I ask that you be honest about it. And any qualitative feedback will likely come to me as well. You're welcome to send that in the survey or via email as well. I'm okay with either. And lastly, just a reminder that life is about choices, and choices come with trade-offs. So especially in this busy time, please remember to balance different areas of your life, and know that you don't need to say yes to everything,
Yeah, 2 out of 3, right?
especially when you're constrained. I personally, don't make that much money. I definitely did not make that much money working for UW. But, one thing that I felt like was a great equalizer in life was everyone has 24 hours. Bill Gates has 24 hours. Beyonce has 24 hours. Mark Zuckerberg has 24 hours. We all have 24 hours. Right? We don't all come from the same background. We don't all come with the same privileges, but we all have the same amount of time. So I saw that as a great equalizer for the choices that I make. And I think it's a great empowering statement regardless of where you are in your life. So thank you so much for joining me for this class. It's been a ton of fun. We're right at the end of the mark. So for anyone who would like to not be in the selfie, I respect your decision. I will send the photo to everyone so you know what you look like. But if you're cool with it, I'd like to take it from here.
Kelly, why don't you just turn around?
Aww. So good.
Is everyone in? Kind of? No, we're like a little short.
Would you like
Okay.
Yeah, do you want us to
Yeah,
take
you're
a
right.
picture of
Yeah, you should.
like,
But it was just more fun to try to take a selfie.
oh,
you know?
there.
And I'm
Squeeze in.
Yeah, squeeze in a little bit. Yeah, you're gonna. Okay, awesome. You're all in. 3, 2, 1, smile.
That's awesome.
I took at least 2.
Also, if any of you have more questions afterwards, I don't have anywhere to be right now, so feel free to come up with any questions you want to ask you.
Find me on Facebook and ask questions.
Yeah.
I'll answer messages.
I love to talk.
Winfo Hackathon.
Yeah, do that.
Do it.
Info hackathon if you learn nothing else. Do that.
Yay.
Sooner than later, because